And we're live.
Yep.
Yep.
We're here. We are live.
Mr.
Yes.
Brothers up here.
The tri of us, the tri-force, the trifecta.
Yep.
Yes.
Triskin?
The tri-skin.
The try hard.
Yeah, could be that.
I mean, sometimes I try hard. I usually die worse than when I'm not trying hard.
Yeah. Confused.
Looking at you, you don't try hard enough.
I do.
I
do. What is the date?
Today is the 30th.
Welcome
All day.
to the podcast of the 30th of April.
There you go.
And we have things to talk about.
Yes.
Mostly things about the Marvel things.
But we're going to do a bit of a special cast today and have a chat and digest what is known as the largest opening ever in U.S. history. Marvel's Avengers Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers. This will be a spoiler cast. If you're in now, this will be spoilery. If you're not in now, we'll say spoilers a couple more times. We'll also put spoilers all over the fucking YouTubes because there will be spoilers. Yeah, we're not going to be like those douchey people on Instagram or YouTube. So a guy at work there was he was fucking around on Instagram, I think, or YouTube, or one of the two. And anyway, he got trolled a spoiler. I don't know which spoiler it was, but it was basically like, oh, check out this, it was like a TV clip or something like that. And he's like, I'm going to check out this TV clip. And it was like, blam, this happens. And he's just like, what the fuck? Like, it wasn't a TV spot at all. It was just like some dude being like, guess what, motherfucker? So, warning right now, we are not doing that, but we're telling you right now, spoilers. Big time. So,
keep an eye on the time for when the normal podcast starts, and then we can...
So, I've watched it twice. I have digested it.
All right.
I've sat back and analyzed it and thought, had my thinky thinks about it. It's fuck. It's such a good movie.
Just don't
it is.
Right,
No,
when I was watching it, it is the closest I've ever seen a movie get to a comic book.
Yeah.
Like everything that was going on, like the Wakanda fight and everything like that, was like I was reading it in a comic book. It was just fucking like outlandish shit that you were like, they wouldn't put this in a movie because you couldn't put this in a movie.
Yeah.
And the mouse said, fuck you, watch what I can do.
Yeah. So I think with that being said, like, we'll talk about the movie first, and then we'll talk about like theories for Avengers 4. But I think with that, like, they're kind of breaking into a threshold of they're showing now, like, hey, we're gonna start going a little weird this way or that way, so that they can open up more storylines, right? So,
yeah.
I thought all the characters did well together too. Is one thing I was concerned about. Like the kind of like mini groups that they had rolling around, like Spider-Man, Strange, and Stark. And
Rocket and Thor.
Yeah, Rocket and Thor and all that kind of jazz. And I thought like, the kind of the stuff that they had playing off of each other too was like, it was really good when Rocket and Bucky got together.
And he picked him up.
He picked him up and he ran around and he's like, oh, I'm going to get that arm, right? And
how much for the gun?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For the arm.
Yeah, exactly, right? So those types of things, like, they play really well together, right? And it's unexpected. Like, I didn't think that they were going to go, oh, let's pair these two characters up. Because there's not really much when you're looking at the previews or anything. There's not really much where you see it and go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I see, it was just really good writing how they got that to work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting the angle he took with Thor too.
Mm-hmm.
Does that come from the comics where Thor?
Well, Stormbreaker
didn't want to come out.
Well, Stormbreaker is from the comics, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the way Thor wouldn't come out. Or not Thor,
Hulk
sorry, Hulk.
Yeah.
Hulk wouldn't
Yep.
I'm sure there's elements of it. I don't recall any specific stories or any comics where, like Banner can't get him to come out when he wants to. I would imagine so. And even if it is writing, it still makes comic sense because if you look back to the MCU into Ragnarok, he was apparently during the time of Ragnarok, he was Thor for like, was it 3 years or 5 years or something like that?
Hulk?
He was Hulk for like 3 or 5 years right in Ragnarok. So it makes sense that he doesn't want to come out right now because he's obviously having a conflict in it, right?
Because Banner wasn't there at all. No. That was all Hulk. Then when Banner came out of it, he was confused. It was like no time had passed for him. You know?
Yeah. That's from the comic. That's how that works. He doesn't actually have time.
Yeah. In the comics, though, he has separated. The Hulk has separated from Banner in the comics, and like the Hulk is even like split off into other forms of the Hulk. Mm-hmm. You know, so it makes sense that now he's having like a dialogue with the Hulk. Like now that he knows what it is, and he's meditated on it and all that shit. But now he's having dialogues with it. And like Hulk coming, he's like, no!
Yeah.
And he goes away again. He's like, what?
Yeah, exactly. The other reason I think they went that angle is because, at the beginning they have the ultra heavyweight boxing match, and Thanos fucking spanks him. I think he's kind of like
get his ass kicked.
Yeah, so I think it's actually, he's got a bit of fear.
Yeah,
maybe.
And that might be a new thing for the Hulk.
Exactly, right?
He's never met a force like that.
Yeah, exactly, right? So he's like, no, I'm not dealing with this. So.
Yeah, same thing happened to Ronda Rousey.
I never met a force like this. Hey, Vince McMahon.
Oh, that's great.
Insane. You've been insane where Thor and Hulk and Loki were fighting. It just set the tone for the whole movie. Whenever
the first scene, is right at the beginning. The first scene where they're on the ship, on the surviving members of Asgard, and the movie's like, we ain't fucking around. Like people die.
Yeah,
Yeah. I had a feeling going into it that Loki was going to die, but I didn't know exactly when or how or if. I was like thinking like, well. I think he will because his whole arc was to, he's obviously the trickster god, but his whole arc is to torment, but his whole thing was to get the Tesseract and give it to Thanos to be part of his order, just because he knew that was going to fuck with things, so that's why he wanted to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily against anyone, but that's just because that's his nature. And then I think that was his whole arc was played out now, and then Thanos was like, okay, I have no need for you now.
Yeah.
Right? Or, when he tries to, I think the other part of it too is like he tries to kill him, so he's like, yeah, I'll give you the Tesseract, but now I'm going to stab you and fucking take it back kind of thing, right? And
the way it felt too was like when he was, professing his loyalty and how much he wanted to be like part of Team Thanos. Yeah. I was like, that's just what Loki does. He's like, oh, this is what's going on now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play along. And I was like, he's just being, slimy Loki. And I was like, but when he seen the blade at his side, I was like, shit, is he going to try to do something right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the only team that Loki has is his own team, right? So so he's kind of like playing both sides and being his only dude in the middle, but that played out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice Thanos did several times things like this happened where it was with Iron Man, and then there was another one where they call him from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Star-Lord?
Yeah, what's his name?
Peter Quill.
When they killed Gamora.
Drax the Destroyer?
No, not Drax, the main guy. Peter Quill.
Star-Lord.
Yeah. It seemed whenever people fought him, when people actually fought him and resisted him, but not sneakily, he spared them, because he spared all them, but he didn't spare Loki. He was trying I don't know if that was part of it.
No, it's everything. Like when people are disappearing at the end, that's actually it was random.
It's just random.
It's
right?
random.
Yeah.
It's actually
I'm not talking
that's
about
RNG.
I'm talking
RNG is at its finest. Shit.
No, I know. I'm not talking about that as such. I'm more talking about whenever he got the different stones at different points, and when he spared. I mean, he spared Iron Man. He spared.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a
Galaxy.
respect. There's a respect that he has for people who face him like that, right? He's like, it's There's points in the movie where actually, he's not just some malevolent force.
Yeah,
you're like, oh yeah, he kind of has a point.
Yeah,
right? You're like, oh yeah,
and he gets soul stone.
Yeah, well, especially that. But I mean, there's other scenes that you see that he's like, he's justifying it as cause. Right? You're like, nah, I don't think you should do this, but I can see why you want to do it.
Yeah, it's like I think that is the true sign of like evil when you're 100% all in and you don't think it's evil. You're like, this is what has to be done, and that was what he thought. He didn't think it. That's what he knew had to happen.
Well, there's even a line that he drops. I don't remember exactly the line now, but he's like, it alludes to like, him. They're like, what makes you the person to do this? And he says, it's because of what I know and that's why I'm the person to do this. It's because I am the only one who can do this, and that's what makes me the person who has to do this, kind of thing, right? So he's even saying like, he's even taking it on him like it's a burden, right? Yeah. He's like, I'm the only one in the universe that knows that this has to be done, and that's why I have to do it.
Yep.
Right?
I think he was played brilliantly. Like, I think
Josh Brolin played
Thanos was amazing.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, like first scene with Thanos, when one of his lackeys is saying how great of an honor it is.
Oh, Ebony Maw, yeah.
You see Thanos standing there. I'm like, yeah, man. And as soon as he started talking, I was like, Josh Brolin just fucking, he's Thanos, and he played it well. And I was like, and he sold everything about it. I really enjoyed it. Thanos
I like the Black Order as well. I thought they could have done more with I can't remember the big guy's name now. They used him for what he is. He's the Brute, I think his name is. Anyway,
he was the Brute. Yeah, he was.
I think that's his name. I know I'm going to get flack for that if I'm wrong, but I can't remember now. Anyway, the Brute he did his job for what he's supposed to be, but they could have done a bit more with him, I think. Yeah. I like how they made Ebony Maw a bit of a match for Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is retarded fucking powerful, right? So it's kind of nice that they gave him someone. And that's the thing now with like kind of this where we're going with things.
Yeah.
They've announced that Celestials exist, right? And Celestials are like, they're fucked up powerful, right?
Yeah.
So like if you get like the Living Tribunal or something like that coming in, that's a fucked up level of power. And so they're saying, yeah, we're gonna bring in Captain Marvel now, right? So Captain Marvel has a fucked up amount of energy power, but theoretically Thor is more powerful than her, right?
Yeah.
So I
love Thor's new weapon.
Oh, Stormbreaker, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
when Groot did that.
Yeah. So that's right out of the comics.
Yeah.
Who hit you the most when they went? I couldn't believe how many went as well.
So like I was saying before, after my first viewing, I seen what happened. Like when T'Challa goes in and he says, "Come here, Okoye, this is no place to die," and then he vaporizes. I was thinking like, what the fuck, But after I digested it, I was like, wait a minute, that guy's got a sequel. And then Spider-Man hit me the hardest.
Oh yeah, like we all know that they're all dead.
Yeah,
like
of course, but
man.
So
move.
Yeah, so he's not dead. Obviously Peter Parker's not dead. That one hurt me the most because he was like, everyone was like, oh, he didn't want to die. I was like, no, I don't think he was saying he didn't want to die. I was thinking he felt he let down Tony. So he's like, I'm sorry. So he's like, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't do more, and I tried to get the glove off, but I didn't.
And see when they almost had it too. They almost had it off. And Quill didn't flip shit.
Yeah,
that was it. They would have had it. But I could see in that's the one that got the most attention from me too, was Spider-Man dying, and it's probably because that one was the one that they gave more time to. And it was like, when you said the two things people thought, I could sense the disappointment thing at the end, that he disappointed Tony. And I was like, but at the beginning of it, you could tell that he was young and he didn't want to die.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's obviously a bit of that too, but I think it was more of an emotion. I mean, Tom Holland, this is the best Spider-Man that's ever been in the Marvel Universe for sure.
Agreed.
Tom Holland plays him fucking phenomenally, but I think it was more like, I'm sorry for failing. I didn't,
Yeah.
I should have done more, kind of thing, or I shouldn't have come. I should have listened to you, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Darren made the point when I was watching it with him. Right before Doctor Strange died, he said this is the way it had to be.
Yeah.
So I think when he's seen all the different playthroughs of how this would play out, I think he knew the only way this had to happen. He had to go through this.
Yeah, so one of the
eventually.
Right. So one of the predominant theories around right now is that that's what he's seen. And what he's seen was that he's seen who vaporized, and there's a crucial part to the Avengers that got spared.
Yep.
There's a crucial part of that timeline that needs to stay intact, and Tony is obviously part of it, and so is Steve Rogers, right? And I think that, so what is going to happen now is they're going to link the timeline that they're on to an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
Right? So then that's going to play into how things will go, right?
Oh, yeah.
And not everybody will come back. Like, there's going to have to be a sacrifice of, certain people.
Yeah. Well, they've cut flack for that before when they killed Loki and brought Loki back and all that.
Yeah, I think Loki's done.
Yeah.
Obviously, the people who have guaranteed sequels are not done.
Yeah.
And then I think because of the contracts, I don't think they'll be gone forever. But I think the main storyline of Steve Rogers and Tony Stark are going to go away. I think they're going to die in the alternate timeline, and that's going to bring their sacrifice will bring everybody else back.
Yeah,
and it'll have something to do with Captain Marvel. But
I expected to see that in the end of this
one.
one.
But there might be, obviously, because it's you'll be going into the cosmic realm, and they're going to be probably bringing in dimensions and stuff like that. Yep. You may have a cameo from one of them later, or a scene, or a piece from them that ties something to another time or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that'll be later, but I think the idea of an Iron Man, Captain America based thing is done. Like, I think that's going to end after Avengers 4, right?
I think that's it too. That's it for that.
Plus, those two guys going to cost some serious fucking amount of money.
As far as now's the time for that to be,
Yeah.
It's reached its end,
and that's what I mean. Like, further to that point, I think their story arcs are well more than done. I mean, they've gone all the way to where the end is. Like, Captain America's whole thing is I'm the guy who lays on, like, when he lands on the grenade in the first one. That's that's his character. That's his whole character. He's like, "Oh, get away! I'll land on the grenade. I'll lay across the barbed wire so you can crawl over me." Right?
Yeah.
So he's the and then his lines where he says, "I can do this all day" while he's fighting. It's like you cannot. You have to kill him. Like, he's like, "I'm not going to step down. You have to kill me." Right?
Yep.
So I think that's part of it. And then obviously Tony is. I mean, you can see it even in this one where him and Pepper want to have a family and kids and all that stuff, and and she's like, "You're not on that fucking ship, are you?" Right? Like, yeah, sorry. It almost plays out as like, this is just one last gig.
Yeah,
it's just one last rodeo, and then I'm done. He's like, I have to do this. Like, this is an Avengers level threat. This is the last gig, and then I'm done. I promise. Yeah. And then obviously shit goes way sideways, and he's not done, right? But like, I mean, at the end of that, and that's kind of from the story thing I think of. But then, like I said before, like, those two got to cost some motherfucking amount of money. Like, holy crap, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. have to, like, not be cheap to hire, right?
Well, definitely not.
Right. So they may want to look
one more in them.
Well, they're both coming back for Avengers 4. Like, that's confirmed. They're in it for sure.
I think the next load of movies are going to be. You obviously got Captain Marvel.
Yep.
The Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
You're probably going to have all the ones that weren't there and what they were doing Well, I was reading a thing today saying they've got movies right up to. They had a meeting today apparently. That they've got movies right up to 2025.
Yeah.
Or by 2025.
Yeah, around there. Yeah.
And
it opens up the. I mean, obviously they have source material for fucking. It's infinity source material, no pun intended. Like they really do have source material forever.
Oh yeah.
And can even you've established everything now. Like hints that you've put in from other things you can spin off of, and like I said, obviously the Celestials and like they've been building this whole thing since the first Captain America. When was that? Like 2009.
Was first Captain America or Iron Man?
Iron Man was first, but so Iron Man teased the Avengers, and then we didn't get the first Avengers until 6 years later. And Captain America had the very first Infinity Stone in it, and even though we didn't know it was an Infinity Stone, really until like the end, right?
And I loved how Red Skull.
The Red Skull cameo.
Soul Stone.
So I went to the like an advanced screening, and like nobody in our theater. It wasn't like a second viewing or a third. It was literally the fucking first viewing in town. So everybody was like everything was all fresh, and that's why I like going to movies like that and that kind of aspect, because the whole crowd is now like, you don't hear the guy in the back corner like, oh yeah, fucking watch this. Like everyone's like, what the fuck, right? So the whole theater, you can get that energy from the whole theater.
Yeah.
And as soon as that fucking scene happened, everyone, you could hear like, Red Skull. Is that Red Skull? Red Skull. Red Skull.
I was the same way too.
Fucking Red Skull.
Okay.
Oh, Red Skull. You know, it's like,
it was like
awesome.
He said I was after the stone one time too. And now I'm here, and I have to lead others to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the line. It ties up his almost his punishment in his hell, right? He's in his own personal hell, and his punishment is like, I have to point people to the thing that I once sought after but can never touch now, right? It's like that's become his punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, and the Space Stone sent him there, kind of thing. So it's and he's been there. Obviously, he's been there since Second World War, right? So he's been doing it for like 70, 80 years. Right? That's
yeah.
And he's tied to it. Like, and
how many do you think he gets? 70, 80 years. How many people walk in and say, "Yo, where's the Soul Stone?"
Oh, not be too many. I think Gamora burnt them out.
I don't think there's very many.
Yeah. She closed the door, right?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
She was like, "I've taken care of that."
Yeah. She hit it, and I like. I didn't think they were going to go down that road. So in the comic book, Thanos is doing everything that he's doing. So they've pulled elements out of multiple Infinity Stone, Thanos' quest, Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, right? So the Infinity, I think, Gauntlet, I can't remember exactly whatever one. Correct me if I'm wrong. newsinvadersnews@gmail.com.
Correct him, please.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't remember which one exactly it is, but there's one where Thanos actually does everything he's doing to impress Mistress Death. I like they what they did was, obviously they didn't put that in it, and I think the reason because is they had what's her name? Kate Blanchett.
In Ragnarok?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Mrs. there. Anyway, I can't remember. I just woke up after night, so my brain's not working. Hey, there he is. There he is. Yo, we'll get to the talkings in a moment. With
sorry, I'm not really set up. I didn't even realize we were doing it tonight.
No, it's good. I like the nod that they did to Death with Red Skull, where they had his robes that look like Death, but obviously he looked that way, but he wasn't that way. And and I was like, that's a fucking nice subtlety, right? Like it's like, hey, you know what? We couldn't give you this, because we kind of gave you the Goddess of Death in the last one in Ragnarok. But here's a little. There you go. Here's a little nugget. Just to show you that we read the comic. Like we know what this is supposed to be, but there you go. Here's a little nugget for you. All right, so
it was Triaxon. Have you seen it, Chris?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch it hours ago.
The peoples that are in this cast, we're specifically talking Infinity War. We've all been schooled and learned, as a saying.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I was saying
I have a very small gripe though.
A very small gripe, okay? Because we haven't talked about gripes yet. We've only talked about our praise and what we feel is going to happen in 4 and what the storyline, how we felt about it and all that.
Yep.
For me, a very small gripe is I didn't feel like Corvus Glaive had nearly enough screen time.
That's
it.
Yeah.
All my gripe is because Corvus Glaive is a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like a real badass. Like and he didn't seem to get nearly enough time for me.
That's kind of what I was saying before. Like I don't feel they did enough with the Black Order, and I don't think they should have killed them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they should have come back.
The killing Supergiant was fine. I was surprised they killed the Ebony Maw. I was really surprised about that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And further to what I was speaking to before, there's a time stone in play, so don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't think that the people that are dead in this movie are not dead.
No.
Yeah.
Like they kind of answered that anyways with Vision in the stone when he just went like that and he turned it back and Vision came back.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was another.
That's them saying, "Hey, don't worry, we know we're doing some drastic shit, but don't worry, time stone."
That one was another.
Family Guy when they killed Brian.
That one was another. Yeah. That one actually was another heart wrencher for me. The biggest one was Spider-Man when he was going.
Yeah.
That one hurt the most. And like I was explaining before, so I was saying, hey, I didn't think it was him. I thought there was a bit of him not wanting to die. Like I was saying, Tom Holland is by far the best Spider-Man, but I think it was a bit of him not wanting to die. But I thought he felt more he was failing Tony.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he's saying sorry. I should have done more, kind of thing, right? But so
you're an Avenger.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great feel scene. But that scene where he vaporizes was kind of that was one of the hard ones for me.
Yep.
And the other one was when fucking Scarlet Witch has to kill Vision, but then has to watch it rewind to watch him die again in a different way. I was like, oh my fuck! Like she has to kill him, and then she has to have the emotion of him coming back so that she can watch him die again, right? So she has to deal with him dying twice, once by her hand, right? So
one of the most emotional scenes was when I thought that Star-Lord was going to pop Grimoire. Like he was ready to go, man.
Yeah.
And then the bubbles came out. I was like, "Oh yeah, reality."
Thanos likes bubbles.
He
likes bubbles a lot.
That was so great, and you see what it did. The Drax turned to cubes. And the misses turned into
turned into like silly putty.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
I thought that was them dead. I thought for sure that was them two dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, like all the ones, and that's what I was saying. It's a little bit disingenuous because everyone who died, a lot of them have confirmed sequels, so you're like,
oh, they're coming back.
They're coming back, right?
Oh yeah, you know they're coming back,
but not everybody
for a movie, and that's it. Then it's still looks that effect.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, that's it.
But yeah, it was like 30 minutes. I was sitting outside going like, "What the fuck do you do after that?" Like, there was no fucking around with that movie. It was just like, this is happening, and I was like, holy fuck.
Absolute ending.
Yeah.
And you just see Thanos just sit there and look over to Vista, and that one little smile comes over his face, like, what?
And it ends, and then everyone in the theater was like, "What the fuck?" And I was just, you could feel the frustration. You're like, "Oh my god, I gotta wait a year to figure out how the fuck you're gonna deal with that." But I think, like we were saying earlier, I really do think that the one timeline that Strange saw plays into. That's why everything went the way it did, because the only way to win is the way that it went. So that links to another timeline, obviously with Captain Marvel coming into play, right?
Yeah,
and then
things went exactly the way he's seen them going.
Yeah, like he's like, I have to give him the stone. Yeah, it's gonna suck. We're gonna fucking vaporize, but That's okay because that's going to launch this secondary timeline with Marvel in it, and then that will be something. I'm curious as well if Adam Warlock will be in it, because
I'd say so.
Because in one of the books, Adam Warlock kills Thanos.
What do you make of Peter Dinklage?
Anyway. Oh, Dinkle Giant. Dinkle Giant was a great
dwarf.
That was phenomenal, right?
Oh yeah, it was great. I look like at the beginning when he's got his hair on the side and shit like that, so you don't really know.
Yeah.
And then it moves. And I was like, holy shit, it's the Dinkles.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And he's just having a great time with that role too. I fucking love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I was, and I think a lot of some of the gripes that people were having were the comedy, but the comedy worked together, like with all the little mini groups that they had, it actually worked.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It can't be serious all the time.
Well, it can't be serious, and I like that. They've used Tony Stark as kind of a comedic relief, where he says things that are ridiculous to point out that it's ridiculous. Like, yeah, look, we're in a giant donut going towards. Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? Like, hey, and he calls Ebony Maw Squidward, right? Like, it's like.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. They're fighting aliens. Like, so we're not in. This isn't like Whiplash and Iron Man 2 anymore. It's like some guy with. Okay, I get it. Some guy with energy whips, whatever. Like, now we're dealing with fucking aliens and interdimensional beings and all this other weird. It's getting fucking weird, right? So,
you know what happens?
So he has to crack things like that to keep an audience engaged, going like, yeah, this is silly, right? Like, because
you know when a comic book movie takes itself too seriously, you know what you end up with?
Justice League.
Or
Fantastic Four,
or Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna.
On the subject of Fantastic Four, I've been watching. There's a bit of a rumor mill about you may even see like the likes of Galactus or Silver Surfer pop up in the next.
That's kind of what I was.
No, a giant Galactus.
Yeah, so that's what I was pointing to in the beginning there, and like, I think now we've opened up the door. Cause we know Celestials exist in this universe. The collectors already mentioned it. So
you've seen them in Guardians of the Galaxy.
They're in Guardians, right? So yeah, they're in. So something like I don't think there's anything out of the question of having something like the Living Tribunal show up or Galactus or
I'll tell you straight up, the Living Tribunal will take nothing to do with Infinity War, and the Living Tribunal doesn't care one way or the other.
No, I know
about what.
But that's what I mean.
The only thing is if he's there to maintain balance.
Right. Well, that's why I brought him up, is something like that at that level, right, where he's maintaining balance and things like that. Like those sorts of things are open and on the table now, right? Because you've introduced this higher. We're in a true comic book realm now. It's not just hey, there's this alternate reality, or hey, this bad guy exists. Like it's gone to full comic book mode, and it took 10 years of slow build to do it, but it's worth it, right? Because now it makes sense.
Well, this is like look at the 5 years.
5 years until Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies.
5 years. Marvel Zombies.
Zombies quite well.
Yeah, but look, no, the likes of a Galactus and a Silver Surfer was already in it, even though he played shitty. But like the likes of a Galactus is not outside of the realm, right? With possibility, like I think you'll see a Galactus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could well do, and like it depends how far they want to deep into to dive into their things. But there's there's like a wee device on the fucking the thumb device. I do that because that's kind of like what it looks like. What's it called? It's like some sort of like a device that can do anything. It's like a super way out, which Galactus can use.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about it later.
It'll come to me someday.
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about though. I can't remember. There's a lot of. I just came off night, so my brain's not working properly either. I've been spacing on names and like fucking ideas and shit like that. So. But yeah, no. A lot of the comedy does work.
Yeah,
and that wasn't a bone of contention to me at all.
Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy was awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's
I love the whole.
Yeah,
so good.
Well, the whole thing where he's like, you can't take the power of a star; it'll kill you. He's like, only if I die. And he's like, yeah, that's what killing is. You know, little things like that.
Great too.
They do like Batista plays that character phenomenally, right? And they just do so much. There's so much good stuff with him. Like I'm glad in the second Volume 2 Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm glad they just let him rip, right? They're just like, you know what, just go ahead, Batista, you be you, just be fucking funny, right? Because he's actually, if you watch him in interviews, he's actually a funny fucking guy, right? Despite being a fucking gigantic, MMA fighter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Adolescent Groot was fantastic. As soon as you get it's like, do I have to tell you to put that down again? I am Groot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, oh yeah.
I love how Thor could talk to Groot.
Yeah, it was an elective on Asgard. Yeah. Yeah.
And the rabbit.
Yes.
And movements that slow that I am invisible.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
I like that there.
Yeah.
1 hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
If I move so slow, you cannot see me.
I'm practically invisible to the naked eye.
Fucking look.
Yeah. So there's really good scenes like that to take the tension off too, but it doesn't take too much away from the tension, right? Because it's still, it's like there's a joke that's thrown in there, and then you watch a fight scene, and you're like, oh shit's real, like this is fucked up, right?
Yeah,
each one of these guys is not like in each of their own movies where they get either introduced or followed up on or developed further. The villains that they fight, you're like, it makes sense that they could beat them. You're like, oh yeah, that's their weakness for this, or oh yeah, that's this guy's weakness, or yeah, he pushed too hard and was too greedy, but then when you put like the Maw up against Doctor Strange, you're like, holy fuck, this guy even in the comic book world. If you take it back, you're like, holy fuck, yeah, this is actually a match for him, or like, you have people fighting the Black Order, and you're like, these are actually a match for these people, right? Like, it's not like there's no weakness to be seen, right? Other than like the good guys versus the bad guys thing, the classic dichotomy.
Yeah, I think that end scene emphasized that, where he's just walking through every one of them. They were all just coming at him, and they couldn't get near him.
Yeah. I liked his confusion that he had when he was like, and again that sums up the whole fucking character of Steve Rogers. He's like, you have to kill me. He's like, I'm not gonna step back. You have to fucking kill me, right? So, and that's why I predict in 4 he dies. But I think like there's even when he comes down with the fucking gauntlet and Steve Rogers grabs it, he's even like, okay, like I don't know why the fuck you're doing this, but I'll just use this hand now, bang, and but he's like, I don't. It's like he has the look in his face. He's like, I know I'm way outmatched. I know you're fucking gonna knock me down, but I don't care. It gives everybody else 10 more seconds to get away, right?
I've seen a lot of that in Newfoundland.
Mm-hmm.
You punch a guy, knock him down, and he comes back at you. Punch him, knock him down, comes back at you again. Keeps coming at you and falling down. And at the end, you're like, gives him a beer and be like, you got my respect, buddy.
That's because he has Infinity Screech, not an Infinity Gauntlet.
This is all I got.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good at the start, giving a nice wee demo of Thanos' ability whenever the Hulk tried to beat him up, and
because I mean, arguably, yeah, exactly. Because arguably, you had to make that clear to an audience who's never read the comics, because you have, everyone's like, oh, the Hulk is super ultra fucking powerful, right? So,
his ass.
So they're like, okay, within the first 5 minutes of this film, we're gonna make him look like a bitch, and then everyone's like, oh shit, this is playing for keeps.
Yeah.
So.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I've kind of had my thoughts about an alternate timeline. So my prediction, you want to talk about predictions for 4 and then how that rolls?
It's worth pointing something out in regards to like alternate realities and stuff. Infinity Stones only work in the reality that they come from.
Yeah.
So you can't use them to make alternate timelines. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't work like elsewhere, so I'm curious to see how that goes.
So they could play, that's a point I thought about. They could play into that. One thing I noticed is when Thanos comes back after snapping his fingers. Did you see that the gauntlet was fucked?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
it was all burnt up, right?
And he was like, "What have you done?"
Yeah, exactly. And then he obviously his fucking hand is smoking, and then he fucking vaporizes back into the space stone, right? So that's I think that's going to play a part. Because this movie's already done. Like they've already shot this movie. They shot two of them back to back, right?
Yeah.
So the little things that happen in this, the little tiny nuances that have happened, are already everything that's going to happen in 4 or to explain what will happen in 4 has already happened in this one. And you just have to kind of decipher them and pick them out, right?
No, you know what it is. So.
Yeah. So I think that is going to play a part.
Yeah.
The other one is obviously Strange saying that it has to be this way. So he seen what happened. Him giving Thanos needed the stones to think he won in order to enact this alternate timeline. I think that's part of it. And then the other thing. So in 4, I think my prediction will be this alternate timeline happens, and based on the set photos from 4, there's the first Avengers where they're fighting the Chitauri.
Yep.
But in the set scene, I seen Scott Lang is there, and Ant-Man. So for some reason that he's part of the original Avengers lineup instead of someone else, maybe, I don't know. I don't know who. The only ones that I've seen in that scene are him, Captain America, rocking his old-fashioned look, and Tony. So I think there's going to be something having to do with that Avengers lineup coming forward into this other timeline. And that's going to be tied together with some sort of Captain Marvel thing. And that's what the pager was for at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
One of my favorite things in it was when he used the gauntlet and he used certain powers, you could tell what stone he was using. While
so that
they really utilized the gauntlet. Like you could tell that it wasn't just a power. He was like, "This is power." He was like, "This is what this one does, and this is what this can do."
Yeah,
and I like that.
So they were showing that, and it was good because that comes from 2 sources. That comes from obviously the comic books where they do that. He'll hold up his glove, and then one of the gems in the gauntlet they'll draw it like a little more bright and all that kind of thing. So when he's doing certain things like that in the comics, it does that. They also tied it from a couple of video games as well. And obviously, it came from the source material, but that also reminded me of stuff from like the Marvel Superheroes video games where he'll use a power and then the thing goes bing like that, and then it'll show it right exactly like it happened in the movie, right? So they were kind of tying all the source material together, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see. I think they could do a really good backstory to Thanos. I know he's got the backstory, but I'd love to see. You can really give through the movie. You can kind of understand why he was doing what he was doing. I think if they made a movie just on him, they could give that even more. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing this really good thing, like with Killmonger and Thanos. They're doing this really good thing where they're now starting to bring in villains that you're like.
Let me know more about this person. I like this.
Not just that. It's not like a Ronin who's just like, Captain. Just a final thought before I forget that Ronin was Kree, and Captain Marvel gets from
the Krill.
Carol Danvers gets merged together with Marvel, who's a Kree, and then you're gonna have the Skrulls. So I think you're gonna see a Kree Skrull War movie.
Yeah.
Down the road, I think that's going to happen. But anyway, back to the other thought. Yeah, no, they're starting to bring in these villains now that you're like, oh, I understand why he wants to do that, and not only that, you're like, you don't want them to go away, you don't want them to die. You're like, I understand why we got to stop them, but like that, like I was back to Black Panther, I was really fucking upset that they killed him because I was like, no, like. This guy, it's his whole character arc where he doesn't want to be captive and a slave, and that's why he dies. But you're sitting there the whole time going like, no, like this guy's redeemable. It's like a Darth Vader moment where he's like, yeah, you can pull the good out of him, and And not that I think that that's the same arc as Thanos, but like when he comes out, like I don't think there's actually any good in him. But it's not that he's bad either. He just believes that he's right. He's not doing it for evil purposes.
Yeah.
He's just saying, I'm the one with the burden who has to make this happen, and I have to make this happen because it's right, and I'm the only one who knows that it's right. Right?
Yeah.
Like that Glamora scene when she's young, just after he did it, and then you just see her younger and ask him if was it worth it.
What did you give up? He said everything.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's like there is compassion there and things like that, but his goal is bigger than all of that, right? And that's what he's talking about when he says that scene. In the scene, he's like, I'm the only one who can do this. It's my burden, right?
Yeah.
So it's that level of depth they're putting into these villains now that is like way beyond, just hey, I'm a bad guy. They're going a lot deeper.
I think they would do a pretty good story if they did. Not so much like right from the start, but even maybe the first part of it, seeing Titan go, and then how he got to where he got to after that.
Well, they sort of did that when they were on Titan, and he brings in the Reality Stone and he shows them what Titan looked like. He said, "This is what happened."
Oh yeah.
He said nobody believed me, and this is what happened anyway, right?
But I mean, like a full movie on that would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd like to see it.
Yeah, sure.
That's when you're making they're making a rich universe now, where it's like even the villains are like, we want to see more, and we would like to know more about the villain instead of bringing in fucking some rando ass villain and being like, oh, he's here, he's not here anymore. Yeah. Now it's like this is what drives the villain, and it makes me think they're making the villains more of a cut man and less of a Saturn man, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing too that's pretty interesting about it is like even after 10 years of all this build and even after everything's going to change after Avengers 4, it still feels like it's just beginning. Like it's just like you listen to the way Kevin Feige talks, he's like, "Yeah, you haven't seen fuck all yet." Like I've been doing this slow burn for 10 years, but this is like it's phase 1, 2, 3 and 4. But it sounds like it's like ultimate phase 1 or ultimate version 1 is 10 years, and then the next 10 years is going to be fucking like this, right? And they're going to keep making these things as long as they keep making $80 bajillion in dump trucks of money. They're going to keep making them, right? And there's no reason. There's no reason people are slowing down. Like there is no. Like they were wondering about that sort of thing. I was reading a lot of podcasts or listening to a lot of podcasts and reading these reports. People say like, well, do people have superhero fatigue? Well, this thing just smashed the fucking record for the domestic box office over the weekend, right? It beat Star Wars. Right? So, no, there's no fatigue. Like this is earning all the money, and it hasn't even opened in China yet. It made $650 million worldwide, and $260 million over the weekend to beat Star Wars: Force Awakens, right? Like this shit's not going away. So
no.
So Feige's like, yeah, you keep showing up, and I'll keep giving you some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And plus, the amount of stories that there is to draw from is fucking.
The source
you're
material,
going back 30, 40, 50 years. So, I mean, that's.
Well, the source material is no pun intended infinite, right? Like you can go anywhere you want, and now that you've, like I was saying before, like now that you've introduced this whole alternate reality stones, time stones, dimensions, super ultra power beings, you can just open up. Like they just probably have a stack of comic books there, and they're going to be like, "No, let's take some elements of that. We'll take some of that. We'll take a little dash of this and put this in there, and then we'll put it in a soup of that. There we go.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. And you know who will not argue with that? Us.
No, fuck no. You know what I would like to? You know what I would like to see though? I would like to see, and I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks because he's coming here, and I want to. If I do get to meet him, I tell him this. I want to see them. Let fucking Kevin Smith write one of them, or at least be a writer on it, right? Yeah. I think Kevin Smith would be a fucking great person to have on a writing team for a Marvel movie, right?
That's why I'm excited about Sam and Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. All right, but no, seriously, I really think Kevin Smith needs to be put onto one of these. It'd be fucking great.
Agreed.
They're definitely doing a good job. I've got my vote to keep on going.
Oh
yeah. Yep.
Definitely do.
Well,
that's fine.
You're just below the DC Comics.
You know what? Everyone's been picking on DC, and I mean,
DC.
Arguably, DC has equal to or even more quality content. I think that the level of like adult level fucking content that DC has, they just need to step back and stop trying to fucking copy Marvel. Stop it. You're not going to.
Yeah,
you're not going. I get it. You want to create your own universe? That's fine. Do it. But you got to do it over 10 years, or just take a step back. Do more Wonder Woman. You know, do more. Stop rushing it. Do more. You know, Chris Nolan, fucking Batman. Like, just stay on that level. Step back. Develop it properly, right? People will show up. Don't go Justice League now. You know, and then everyone's like, "What the
too much
fuck?"
Shit.
Yeah,
like Justice League gave us like so many different like backgrounds and stories and shit to these characters.
There's
and it's like they were forcing us.
Yeah.
Forcing us.
You're jamming it. You're jamming too much. Yeah, exactly.
Can't do that.
Right. So
not only that, they got the fucking Justice League together to fight a B-level character. You know?
Well, oh my god! I was going to mention that. Yeah. Why you would bring in fucking
the uncle of Darkseid? Just bring in Darkseid if you're going to do it. Don't beat around the bush.
Yeah, and obviously they're saying don't say they're gonna. You know, obviously they're playing up to that for another Justice League movie, but is there even going to be one at this point? I don't fucking know. Like they're just really trying to jam too much in, right?
We'll just end up making a new Batman like they always do.
Yeah, I mean that's not even really a bad thing either.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The last Batman, I don't like the fact that Batman takes up guns.
Batfleck?
I don't like that shit. I really don't. I mean,
well, it depends if you read some of the comics. Depends on what comic you read, but there is a Batman that actually uses weapons like that. Yeah.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, Batman has always had a code. And I was like,
let's overall
and fucking no good to go over there because if we go over there, we're not fucking coming back.
That's right. His overall thing is don't kill people because if you kill someone, then you're just as bad as them, and you have to be better and all that shit, right? But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you go into the Frank Miller Dark Knight world, yeah, he fucking kills people because he's just old and he doesn't give a shit anymore. He's like, "Fuck it, you're gonna die. Don't care."
You're my dog.
He had to kill people in that movie. Like I haven't read any of the comics, but the whole point of that movie was to kill Superman. Mm-hmm. So what's the point of not killing people and then his objective in the whole movie was to kill Superman? Mm-hmm. You know, it doesn't make sense.
Technically, Superman's not a person.
When you say,
if you want to twist it, he's not.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
When you want to say, I've never read the comic books. Are we talking like the Nightfall,
Dark Knight Returns?
What are we talking here? We talking Batman in general?
In general.
Oh, Phil! Get him out of here!
In Phil's defense, so it is difficult to get comics over here.
Yeah.
You can't just go to a comic book store and get comics. You have to go to like a specialist importer store.
Yeah, you can get them off Amazon. Amazon will ship them. And what's actually really cool about I don't know about DC, but what's actually cool about the Marvel comics is when you order them off Amazon, they give you the digital code, so you can download them as well.
That's cool. That's cool.
When I was younger, I went outside. I don't know if any of you have heard of that before. You know.
No,
I went outside too.
When I was younger, Phil. Whenever we were younger, the only thing you could do is go outside. So fuck you.
Yeah. So when I was younger, there was no internet. I didn't have the internet until I was 17. So before that, all of my cards and my comics, I had to walk to the fucking comic store to do, and I did.
Yep.
Yeah, your porn was in painting form.
It was. I had a funny story. Anyway, any more theory before we go into that realm? Any more theories or fucking Avengers 4 talk theories or anything like that?
No.
Nope.
We're not here for that. Le Pew.
Yeah. Le Pew. Okay, so to the point. Here's the difference. This is the best way to sum up my old man moment. And I'm only in my mid-30s, and so not like it's I'm like super old, but
you hold on to that youth, buddy.
Here is my old man moment. I'm closer to 40 now than I am to my mid-30s. But anyway, so here's oh, I know. It's getting hey, you stop laughing there, poet hat. Because I know what's under there.
Oh man,
there's a big old fucking shiny about much. It's like this here, Mr. Poet.
That's what happened, man.
Yeah,
from here.
Yeah, you got. I know. Yeah, you got the Lonely Island up there, and then the rest is beard.
That's right.
So anyway, here's the difference between the generation today. Generation today. Hey, fucking Pornhub, click, bang, anything you want, whatever it is, anything your heart desire, you type it in, it's there. Name, date, type, kind, everything, how many of it, whatever, all there, right? At your fucking fingertips on any device, anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Me, 11, 12-ish, around there, you know, 93, 94. Friend of mine took Brothers Hustler. Not all of it.
Because Playboy.
Took his friend's Hustler, or his brother's Hustler. Not all of it, because if he took all of it, his brother would then be in trouble because it was originally his dad's. So his brother had it hidden under the mattress. I'm gonna shit you not, this is a fucking true story. Didn't take all of it, because if he got caught, he would have been beaten. So he took pages out, strategically, so that you didn't see them ripped. So we had random pages of a fucking Hustler.
That's it, man.
But didn't want to get caught. So he had a shoebox. So we took a shoebox, and we put the shoebox full of porn that he eventually amassed a large porn collection. Not wanting to get caught, he goes behind his fence and shed, dug a hole, and we put the fucking shoebox of porn in the hole and buried it. And after school, we would go to the fucking hole behind the shed and look at the porn. Fuck you, everyone out now. Fuck you, everyone who's doing the fucking Pornhub shit. That's real. That's what I had to fucking do to get porn. I had to go to a shed after school to look at a shoebox, and it wasn't like anything to your heart's desire. It was whatever he was happened to able to get out of the fucking page. Right? That's real shit.
Real shit. When I was around the same age, and one of my buddies had a like old 80s, late 70s porn that was in a big black case, and it would look like a little vault, and it was the book, and there was like five of us that used to share the book. It was like, can I get the book this weekend? No, I got the book this weekend. So, man, when the digital age came in, it was holy shit, you could do what? Whatever? What?
Yeah.
Just look at... you got it easy.
Yeah, fucking kids got it easy, man. Listen to us old folks.
Where you get like half the picture in, and you're like, come on!
It's going like this.
When I had
then it closes down, somebody picked up the phone.
Yeah, when I had 36.6 modem, which was considered fucking like ridiculous at the time. I was getting 4K a second. Yeah, and you get the picture and it'd be like and you're like, yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Yeah, you're like, here we go. We're gonna get a nipple, and crash.
So we pick the phone up.
Yeah, and then I got what was it called? Web Crawler had it. It was Web Accelerator. That's what it was. So what it would do is when you were on dial-up
porn.
Yeah, so Web Accelerator would save whatever it was you downloaded, like a partial file or a partial picture or whatever. So if somebody picked up the phone, it would save it in your cache, and then you once you went back online, it would continue off from wherever there, and that was a lifesaver. That was a lifesaver in fucking teenage me world.
You said Spider-Man porn.
Yeah. which by the way, didn't exist until the modern age, because now that's what they're doing with porn. If you've noticed, they've got themed porn now.
We have gone
so there's like a
way off the rails.
Well, that's why I said, like, that's why I asked. I'm just looking now at the time. We're at an hour.
Your system.
Yeah,
got it out of your system.
I was like, I gotta get this out.
just free balling now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Shit.
I was like, are we done? I was like, very serious. I was like, does anyone have any more thoughts about Infinity War? Was everyone going on the Infinity War? Do you have any more theories about Avengers 4? No? Okay, good. All right, so the porn.
The porn.
You fucking kids have it easy. Oh my god.
Why Terry was using his purple-headed yogurt slayer.
That's right. Well, we're at an hour. Do we have anything to talk about? Or do you want to save the gameage for another day?
Save it for the weekend, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, there wasn't very much in the way of gameage this week.
Oh, I tell you what though, fun game for mobiles that I've been playing called Thunder Assault.
So Thunder Assault?
Thunder Assault, yeah, it's pretty fun. Okay. It's like a Unreal shooter.
Oh, yeah.
Right, very, very anime looking.
Oh, really? I'll have to check it out.
All he had to say was Unreal Shooter. Both of us went, huh?
Yeah.
What is this now?
And
not Unreal.
And we'll fucking I guess we'll talk about it at the weekend, but the Destiny 2 fucking DLC shit dropping. More
so I take a video to on this weekend then.
Yeah, he was on playing that. Yeah, he was on playing it. Fuck it. Fuck the fuck. Oh, we're gonna fix everything. No, fuck you. You're not. You're gonna fuck everything up.
I'll be over here, Monster Hunter, hunting my monsters.
Yeah, alone.
They're
72,000 hours in it.
Destiny's every 3 month apology.
Yeah,
4 month apology.
Yeah. Pay us for this DLC every 3 months, 4 month apology. Right.
No, you can only get like kicked in the balls so many times before you just
Yes, this is very true.
So
shrivel up.
I'm done. No, I'm done. Bungie go fuck himself.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll save that. We'll save that for the weekend.
We still gonna D&D some night. We're gonna have to get that on the go.
I think we should do that.
We gotta. Slayer said he knows somebody who knows to run the program. I've tried to run the program before, but you guys know me. I get lost in it.
Yeah. You call me.
I glaze over trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So if we could.
You've asked me some questions that were, I will say, on the beginner side of things.
I have any questions yet. How much feel bad?
Anyway, well, we'll cap her there. But thanks for everyone who joined. This will be on YouTube.
Yes.
You can watch the full thing. And as I said before, if you're on now, you're just joining now, spoilers! There are spoilers. Lots of spoilers. Before we talk now, there are spoilers. There are spoilers. There will always be spoilers. There were spoilers.
People join to this point and find out there's spoilers there.
Yes. I'm just saying, if you just join now and you go back to watch the YouTube show,
yeah,
fucking spoilers.
Or if they accidentally fast forwarded to this exact point.
Yes, spoilers.
Yeah. We need to get that up.
Yeah. And I'll put that in the description too. Fucking spoilers. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go jump on Xbox.
Jobs are good.
And what? I'm gonna jump on Xbox. I have to put some time into Far Cry.
What? I can't hear
your mic. Every time there's a weird thing going on with your mic.
With my mic?
I can see you talking, but no noise, and then it comes back.
Really?
I don't know if it's if someone else is talking, and then it just cuts your voice out or something.
What about now?
Anyway, no, it's fine now. It was just every now and I just noticed it a couple of times.
No. Anyway, I'm going on Far Cry 5.
Yes, enjoy. I beat Far Cry 5, man.
Oh, did you?
It's yes.
It's a superb game. Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Until then.
All right, fellas. Well, I'm going to fuck around and head to bed soon enough anyway, so I'll see you later.
All right. Look at the vein just popping out there. He's like, ah.
Was that podcast still